Today's video is presented in partnership with Hampson Auctions, one of the UK's leading classic, performance and supercar auction houses. Their next sale takes place on the 8th of March at the magnificent Bolesworth Castle in Cheshire. For your complimentary valuation for sale and entry into one of their auctions, please use the contact details below for a prompt response. Now that we have a Ferrari 458 in the garage again, we're going to start revitalising the workshop series. And the first item that we have to sort on this 458 is adjust the carbon fibre race seats. Now, the carbon fibre race seats, as I've mentioned before, they do not have mechanisms, or they don't have motors to adjust the heights. It's manually adjusted. You literally have 3 settings on these seat rails, and those 3 settings allow for adjustment in the height. And you have a certain possibility to be able to adjust the back of the squab up higher than the front, for example. But in general, most people will adjust it to one of the 3 settings, so either at the bottom, middle, or high, without adjusting one higher than the other, as it were. To do that, you have to first of all remove the seat from the car. Now, we're pretty constrained for room in this garage, as you will have seen from my other workshop videos, but we're able to make do. So what I've done is I've moved the car as far left as possible without obviously catching the wing on the wall, and got protection on the door here because it can open fully onto the wall here, but obviously I'm protecting the door because this is very, very special paint. So I'm protecting the door against the wall because we're outside of our normal pad area. Where I normally park the car, we have this pad where we open the door onto this pad, and this protects the car door. But because I've had to move the car further forward, obviously we've got to use this thick blanket to protect the door. So, you know, don't trust to fate, guys. So first of all, what we have to do is loosen off the rail bolts that attach the seat to the car. There's 4, and they're 4 Allen keys, and they're 6mm. So this is the tool that you use to undo those. This is a 6mm Allen key, and by 6mm, it's 6mm across the diameter of the faces of the Allen. And it's actually called a 6mm as well, which sort of gives it away. What you do first of all is you pull the back of the seat forward a bit, and you adjust the seat on the rails. I mean, I've loosened it all off already, so it's floating a bit at the moment, but you adjust the seat all the way back so you gain access to the bolts, and then the bolts are available here. Now, on mine, they're adjustable, or they were available from the 3rd position back. So if I just put the bolt back in again, you'll see where it was. As you can see, it's all floating around now, but in effect it was there on the 3rd hole back. And these are the Allen bolts that you have to remove. You have 4 of these, 2 at the front, 2 at the back. So you can see there it was positioned previously in, whoops, try and get it, oh come on you bugger. Where is it? Well, there, you can see it back there. There, it was positioned there before. So I've unbolted this, and I've unbolted the other bolt as well, which is in the same position, same 3rd hole down on the rail, but obviously on the other side, so that when removed, provides disconnection in effect of the front rail system of the seat. Then what you do is you move the seat forward on its rail, like so. Lift the back of the seat forward, and then you have, again, I've undone these again, viewers, to make it easier. But you have the Allens there, Allen bolts at the very last hole that affix the rail to the car. So you undo those again, they're an M6. So all of them are M6. So all of them are this size. Very easy to undo. Obviously use the socket to do that, and it's a 1/4" drive socket. Now, when you have provided that access, what I would say, viewers, as well, is when you're moving the rails especially with it being loose, make sure that you don't get your fingers caught in the rail, because you could end up moving the seat back on your rail and chop your finger off or cut your finger really badly, so be very, very wary of that. Now I'm just going to show you how to disconnect, because the seat belt is attached to the seat. Just going to show you how to remove that cap. Actually got it in my pocket. So there's a bolt here on the side of the seat that attaches the seat belt. There's a bolt here that attaches the seat belt to the seat. Because we have to remove the seat, obviously you have to then remove this seat belt. What you do is you have a little bit of tolerance. I've got more there because I've partly removed this. You've got a little bit of tolerance there. What you do is get a plastic, I cannot emphasize it enough, do not use steel, but a plastic pry bar. This is a proper plastic pry bar, and you just leverage it at the back between the metal seat belt and this plastic cap. It's just a covering cap that covers the bolt, and you just leverage it out, and that gives you access to the bolt. Now this bolt is, trying to read it on there, a 17mm, so it's a 17mm bolt, a 17mm socket to undo this 17mm bolt. Just put that forward. I've already loosened this off as well. This is fairly tight, so I'm undoing the seat belt attached to the seat now. Be careful when you undo the bolt that you take note of any washers that are fitting in to attach it. So you've got a spacer there, and then the bolt. Now it seems to be retaining it quite well in this instance, so I'm just going to leave that as is and pop it to the side here, because I shouldn't have to touch that anymore. Now what we do have to do is the seat is unbolted from the car. We have to tilt the seat back, taking great care that we don't damage these carbon back seats, but it's cushioned at the back anyway, so it should be fine. And we need to detach the wiring harness that actually pretty much just deals with the sensor that is associated with the seat belt. So there's a pressure sensor in the seat in effect, so it senses your weight as you sit on the seat to make sure that you've got your seat belts connected. So if somebody sits in the seat and the car started, or the ignition's on, I think it's when the car started, then you'll get a seatbelt warning if you haven't got a seatbelt on. So, and obviously it's also for the connection with the seatbelt, so it senses when the seatbelt is connected to the seatbelt attachment. So what I'm doing now is just tilting up the seat. Make sure, of course, that you've got your, I'm just going to move the seat back a bit on the rails, make it easier. And make sure that you've got your steering wheel adjusted up high as high as you can as well, so you've got access to be able to move the bottom of the seat squab up past the steering wheel. So we're just trying to lift this up now to gain access, and you can see here, let's move this light down here so you can see, viewers. You can see the wiring loom. So it's fairly easy to detach the wiring loom. So we're just going to detach that now to be able to provide access. Now one of these sockets is disconnected anyway. For this side, there's just a pressure button that you push here. So just to disconnect this plug, you just push in this section here, this tab in there, which is to then pull the socket apart like so. And then I've just got to unclip this wiring loom section here, and then we should be good to go. So first of all, just rest the seat there, and I've got to get a pair of cutters just to cut the tie clip. Now we've got the driver's seat out of the car, you can truly see the contrast of the two colours in the car, with the black for the carpets and the black of the leather, and the grey, light grey, almost like a light blue hue on the Alcantara. It really looks really classy. Now we've got the seat removed, you can really see the driver's compartment really clear and the wiring loom. Now this wiring connector wasn't connected. I assume that's to do if you've got comfort seats, so that's just there because usually the whole wiring loom is provided in the cars anyway, irrespective of the type of seats that you have. And this is the only connector that had to be disconnected, which would be for the pressure sensor on the seat and for the seatbelt continuity. So when the seatbelt is connected to the actual plugged into the seat, this is a continuity test to be able to make sure that you have in effect connected your seatbelt and you are wearing a seatbelt. So the adjustments that we need to make are remove this bolt and this bolt and drop the seat down. As you can see, you've got 3 adjustments. It's currently on its highest setting. On my previous 458, the seat was down on its lowest setting, so I'm going to provide the same positioning on this seat. I'm going to lower down to this bottom setting, and bottom setting on here and bottom setting on there, so the seat is adjusted on its lowest position. And obviously you have to do this on the other side as well, so that the seat is properly lowered down. And then it's a case of just putting the seat back in the car again, reconnected the wiring loom and rebolting it back up. So now we're removing these Torx headed screws to be able to lower this side of the seat down, and then we'll do the same to the other side. I've already loosened these off. It's just a Torx head. I'm not sure exactly what size this is, but if you've got Torx drivers then you'll be able to find the size. It's not an abnormal size. You literally just remove these. Be careful of the seatbelt cable there as well, and also always remember the washer situation. So you've got a small washer and a large washer. The small washer mates to the large washer, which obviously goes over the hole like so. And these are all pretty loose now. That one you can just loosen because it's going to slide down, so you don't need to take this out, whereas these other bolts actually fit into different holes, so you've got to physically remove them. You have to be a bit careful of what you're holding as well to make sure you don't damage anything. So we've now loosened or removed these bolts at the end and loosened this. We're now just a case of moving this up to its bottom setting or top setting, whichever way you look at it, and putting the screws back in, or bolts, whichever way you look at their hex bolts really. Right, I've put the seat back in and I've raised it back up again, and I've just tie clipped the spare connector underneath the seat again, so it's out of the way, so it's exactly the same as it was before. And I'm now going to reconnect the single connector, and that's it. Just bolt the seat back in again now. So all I've got to do now is bolt the seat back into the car. I've connected the wiring harness back up, and that's it, job done. The seat is now adjusted on its lowest position. So I'm just reattaching the seatbelt now. I've bolted the seat in, and this is the last stage. Reattach the seatbelt, then put the plastic cap back on the bolt so it just looks nice in effect. So the seatbelt has to be attached nice and tight, but this is never going to tighten up fully because obviously it has to swivel, so there's blankers in there and spaces to prevent that from nipping totally up. But the bolt has to be quite tight, and then following that you literally just push on the plastic cap that you removed. There you go, job done. The seat has now been, we've now taken the seat out, adjusted it down onto its lowest position because my upper body is quite tall and I was scraping my head on the ceiling, so I've lowered the race seat down onto its lowest position, which is the same position that the seat was placed on for my previous 458, so I know that that will work and that will be fine for me. So it's not that hard to do, guys, and I believe main Ferrari dealerships will charge you around 2 hours work to do that. Realistically, if I was you know, just doing that consolidated piece of work, it would have taken me about an hour. I cleaned this grill section out as I showed you on the short, so I've added in a little bit of extra work while I had the seat out. I did some other bits and pieces and cleaned the carpet underneath the seat, because obviously you can't get to that unless you've got the seat out. So did some other bits and pieces while I was there. But if I was literally just taking the seat out, dropping it down or adjusting it on its rails and putting it back in again, I reckon it's an hour's work max to do that. And don't be afraid of doing it, guys. You can do these things yourself. Just have to have a bit of sense and a bit of capability with using some tools.